To the 2024 seniors, first congratulations on a magical and historic season. This team will be remembered for years and years and years and years to come, and you all were the leaders and the face behind that. No matter if this is your first year in the UCL uniform or in some cases your fifth or sixth, no, it's been a true honor and a pleasure to have covered you, to have gotten to know you over the year and years, and just know that. You set the standard now for every team to follow. You're a class. Some of you were here under the previous regime. Some of you came under the current regime. But regardless of when you came, when you decided to be a Bronco, you came together and have put together a magical season. And I truly thank you for that. Your contributions to this program will forever be cherished. And now I would like to take the time to thank each and every one of you personally. So I want to start with a man that I never thought I would actually be able to cover, let alone get to know personally. That's quarterback Dawson Hurl. If you're a long-time listener, you know I've been a fan of this man ever since he threw the game-winning touchdown. Game-winning touchdown pass against us back in 2021. I was always a fan of the way he played, the way he maximized the talent around him. So when he transferred in, last year, I said at the time, probably was the most underrated signing. I know we didn't see that a whole lot last year. There was some inconsistencies there, but I think we can all agree if it wasn't for Dawson the past 2 weeks, we're not sitting here share of the MIAA. And you have to give him credit. He didn't have to come here. He had other offers. He came with no assurances of starting last year. He had no assurances of starting this year. And to his credit, he stayed the course. And I'm glad he was able to have that moment. I'm glad he was able to score against his former team in a stadium where he ranks among the best in school history quarterback wise. So I truly appreciate Dawson, his contribution, what he's done, the way he's able to come in there. And help secure us a conference championship. It's been a true honor and a true pleasure to have covered him, to get to know him. I'm wishing him the best of luck moving forward. He'll be among the handful of choices representing the university at the pro level. This time in Europe, right, similar to how Trayvon is currently in Japan. And I'm wishing Dawson the best of luck. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. Don't be a stranger. The door is always open. I'd love to hear from you next year when you're tearing it up over there in Europe. Next is a dear friend of the podcast. the pride of Shakota, the former pride of Old Monkey. Man who forgot his jersey. Jacob Delsa. I have to say, when he transferred in the offseason 2022, I did not know much about him. I knew he was the Eastern Michigan transfer. I knew he was the 3-star. That was the extent of my knowledge of Mr. Delson. And I think he very quickly made his presence felt. He was the best receiver for us in 2022. He had a rough year last year, and I appreciate the candidness that he's provided me and the show over his 3 years, being open about those struggles. And I'm glad that he's had the season that he's had, because, again, we don't have that punt return. We probably don't beat Mo West. We don't have those blocks on the perimeter. We don't score a couple of times last week and win the game. You have to give him credit. Sure, maybe the stats aren't what he would like or what we would like, but the fact of the matter is he's made an impact. Not only this year, but in years past. And he's made an impact on me personally. He's probably one of the guys I've seen the most growth out of. I remember him kind of being shy, reserved, hesitant, and now he's over here doing TikToks with J-Mo. It's just pretty cool to see. And so I'm definitely wishing Jacob the best of luck out there. Again, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. Doors always open. Don't be a stranger. The next person, before I get to him, I have to thank the family of Madison Ridgeway, Mr. and Mrs. Ridgeway, Madison's sister. They've been fantastic supporters since the moment that he signed. I truly appreciate every conversation, every laugh, handshake, hug, any kind of interaction. It just means a lot. Because that's a family that cares deeply, not only about Madison but about the program. And I would dearly miss seeing them in the UCO sideline in the stands post game, pre game next year. So for sure, we'll be getting the conversations in Saturday. You rest assured. But in terms of Madison, it's tough because, like I said numerous times, referring to Marlo Hughes Jr. in the past, injuries is an unfortunate part of the game, and it's unfortunate that it's taken its toll on this man. But you could tell he's a man of great character and great fight, because a lot of other players would have packed it in. He continued to come back from the injuries, and again, I contest, we're not MIAA champions if it was not for the efforts of Madison this season. Go back to Northeastern State. If he doesn't score that touchdown, I don't think that we come back. Go to Central Missouri. He had several key first downs. You go to Pitt State. He had his best game in the UCO uniform, probably against the hardest team on the schedule. Right? It's just he's willing to do the things to help the team be successful. I said he'd be one of the key people to help fill the void left by Oscar Hammond. He's done that in full. I hope he can end it on the field Saturday. I truly do. But when we look back on this season, I want us to truly appreciate the efforts and contributions of Madison Ridgeway. I said it before, I'll say it again. Sure, championship teams have their stars, but they also have their role players that step up, and Madison's been a hell of a role player for us. I truly wish the man the best of luck. It's been a true honor and pleasure to have covered him and gotten to know the Ridgeways personally. Doors always open. Don't be a stranger. Next, we have a new father in Noah Dobson. This is a guy. It's funny because he's a part of one of the first few classes that I actually sat down and watched the tape of the recruits. I just knew Noah was a different cat. Because when I saw the tape of him at Carlisle, and I saw a dude that was 6'2", I think at that time he was 330 or 340, whatever he is now. And I saw the way he was pulling and moving and just I'm sitting there thinking, how in the world did we get him to come to Edmond? He has not disappointed. He's been a mainstay on the offensive line since game 3 or 4 of his true freshman season. Multiple time all conference player. He should probably go down as one of our better tackles in recent memory. I mean that's a very prestigious group, obviously, with Noah Hammonds and Tyler Stillwell and such. But he's been a mainstay. He's been a leader on what has been the best offensive line since those two men graduated. I give Noah full credit because it can't be easy, being a football player, going to class. I think he's in a fraternity as well, and then also being a new father. I can't imagine the juggling act that he has to do. So the fact that he's having the success that he has, I think it speaks a lot to Noah as a person. It's been an honor and a pleasure to have covered him and gotten to know him over the past 4 years. It's really like I said, it's really rare. It's tough to come in as a true freshman on either side of the trenches and not only play but start and make an impact as a true freshman in this conference. It's very, very, very tough to do, and that speaks a lot to Noah as a player and as a person. So again, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. I'm wishing you the best of luck. Again, the door is always open. Don't be a stranger. Next, we have Hayden Pullis. He's one of our 1-year rentals. I knew when I watched the tape of him at a JUCO, I said this was a high-grade pass blocker. I felt like we've seen that. We've seen that for sure. He's been a valuable cog in the offensive line. Obviously, we don't have the success that we have. If it was not for the blocking that he and the rest of the unit provided, I'm truly glad he decided to spend his last year of eligibility with UCO. He definitely picked a good year to he picked a good year to come. I say that, man. If you need lottery numbers, you need to hit up hit up Hayden there. But no, it's definitely it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. I wish him the best of luck, and doors always open. Don't be a stranger. The next two men, you can almost use interchangeably as I did last week. When I was talking to one of them post game and called them the other, because these are two men that, full disclosure, when I saw their tapes out of Noble and Haskell respectively, I said with different cats within 30 seconds you could have stopped the film. And that's because I saw Hunter Largen tackle a center into the running back. I saw Zane Adams playing running back at he was like 250 at that time, like a 75-yard touchdown run. You just knew that they were different. And much like how Rob and Mike in 2021 and 2022 set the tone for the defensive line, you can definitely say Hunter Largen and Zane Adams have done the same thing. Both men have been a key cog in the season. Obviously, we know Zane had the game-winning field goal block last week. He's blocked several kicks in his UCO career. Go back to the Pitt State game last year. Both those men, again, if that performance didn't bring a tear to your eye, I'm not quite sure what will. That was probably the most impressive game from two interior defensive linemen I've seen in my time of watching football in general, let alone UCO. Hunter's been playing with the hand injury, hasn't slowed him down. We know Zane's had the injury bug, but again, they persevered, they saw it through. They're the last two remaining from a very talented 2022 defensive line class. They've been through, two position coaches now, 3 coordinators, two head coaches, right? I mean, they've been through a lot, and so for them to come out on the other side together and champions, I think is very telling about those men as men. Because obviously we know of their immense talent as players, but of them as men, they will clearly be missed. I didn't know a nose guard could have as much personality until I talked to Hunter. I appreciate the Largen family. They've been fantastic supporters as well. I'm truly going to miss those two, not only for what they bring on the field, but off the field as well. Again, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. Door is always open. Don't be strangers. Next, we have one of the newer ones, Marcus Soul. Marcus's Southern Nazarene transfer. I always say, if you're looking at stats, you're not seeing the full picture with Marcus. You have to watch the tape, much like it was with Rob in 2021, to see the full impact. Every time Marcus is in there, he's providing a quality pass rush. He's pushing the pockets. That's all you can really, really ask for. He's helping make, Hunter and Zane and Lim and Johnny and whoever else is in there's job a whole lot easier by providing that consistent pass rush. I know he didn't have a lot of success at Southern Nazarene. I'm glad he's able to go out on a high note there. I know he's engaged, so he's going to be starting a family soon. So I'm truly happy for him. I'm glad he decided to end his last 2 years in the UCO uniform. I'm telling you, if we didn't have his pass rush, we didn't have him being able to rotate in there, we probably aren't where we are. And so I want to just let Marcus know that he's much appreciated. Even if the numbers don't tell the full story, if you watch the games, you know of Marcus's impact. It's been a true honor. It's been a true pleasure. Again, the door is always open. Don't be a stranger. Noah West. It's just you gotta talk about just a guy that a position change just meant the absolute world for him. If you're newer and you joined the Allen Door era, Noah West came to us as a redshirt freshman transfer from Army by way of Bigsby. He was a defensive end in 2021, obviously with the scheme change. and the coordinators, they moved him into more of a hybrid role, and he has thrived 100% since then. Go back to 2022, he was my defensive player of the year. He was just the absolute force. He had the injury bug last year, unfortunately, but I think we've seen this year the impact that he has. Is it to 2022 standards? No, and I didn't expect it to be, just given, now he's on scouting reports, right? But you go back to NSU, he had the interception return to the one, even though even though he almost butchered that beyond belief, but right, he's had sacks, he's had TFLs, he's made crucial plays for us. He had the blocked field goal before the half last week, right? Again, we're not where we are now without Noah. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. I'm wishing Noah the best of luck moving forward. Again, the door is always open. Don't be a stranger. Next we have Zion Bell. One of the funniest dudes you will ever meet. Again, he's not the flashiest player, right? I feel like this is very telling of this team, right? Because for every Hunter and Zane, you have a Marcus, right? For every Noah Dobson, you have a Hayden. For every Jacob Delso, you have a Madison. Right? The Zion is kind of like that with Noah West, right? Noah's a spicy guy. Zion's a heady player. I go back to that play I broke in detail on the podcast last week, where if it was not for him right there, that's probably a touchdown. We probably do not win the football game. He had the clutch interception in the end zone against Northwest to stifle momentum, right? He's been a guy willing to play any role. Special teams, it does not matter. And I think, is one of the few Broncos that have a winning record against Northwest Missouri. He's gone 2-1 in his 3 years. I mean, he's just a great guy. He's a solid player. Again, when you ask him to go in there, he gets the job done. I'm happy for Zion. I truly am. I'm telling you, you ever need. I mean, granted, there's a lot of guys on the team you can get a laugh out of, but if you ever need a laugh, Zion's the guy to go to. Just a guy from, I think he was from Atlanta, Georgia, moved to Texas and now moved to Oklahoma. It's just a heck of a road for him. I couldn't be happier for him. And again, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. Doors always open. Don't be a stranger. We have a guy here near and dear to my heart. First, I have to thank Mr. Buckheit. He's been a true supporter. That's been for a long time now. I mean, a long time. I always appreciate our conversations, our interactions. But Dylan Buckheit's a guy that I've been watching since his junior year of Moore High. I think I've told the story before. One of his high school teammates, his father and my father's are really good friends. So we ended up going to all the games for his last 2 years in Moore High. Anybody that's followed high school football within the metro area would know that Moore had not been good, had not had a whole lot of success up until his class. And they were able to turn that around, and he was able to go out with 2 straight playoff appearances. And when he got to UCO, I said for a fact, I'd be thoroughly surprised if he did not play as a true freshman. I'm sure some probably called me crazy because we had former All-American safety O'Shea Harris back. We had Jakari Hunt back. And probably thinking, well, how in the world is he going to get playing time? Then was it game 2 or 3, whatever the Lincoln game was, that he was like getting significant burn, and then by years in, he was starting, and he's never let go of that job. I always said, if you look at Dylan coming off of the bus, similar to the next man, right? It's not going to scare you. But I'm telling you, when you get on the field, it's just a whole different story. He's just a fantastic player. He's just a turnover machine, tackling machine. He knows where to be, right? It's unfortunate that the injuries robbed him last year. Maybe not, because if he played last year, he wouldn't be in the position to now call himself a champion. Um, so I'm truly glad for him. Like I said, I'm glad for his family. They've been big supporters. It'll be weird writing a UCL roster and there's no Dylan Buckheit on that. I guess. I mean, right? We're almost at like where it was with Dante and Johnny, where they've been on there so long. It's gonna be weird to not see them up there next year. But I do know that's pretty cool that he's able to say he turned around two programs in his playing career, and so it's been a true honor. It's been a true pleasure. I'm wishing Dylan the best of luck. I know he doesn't like to talk. It is what it is. But if for whatever reason he decides that he wants to, door is always open. Don't be a stranger. Next on the list is Kobe Stevens, the pride of Woka. I'm not going to lie to you. There are players in every class that kind of surprise. Maybe their tape jumps and they don't really amount to much of anything, or their tape doesn't jump and they amount to something, and Kobe falls in the latter of that. Watching his tape out of Awoka, I had no indication he'd become the all-conference player that he has. The growth of Kobe just needs to be started not only on the field but off the field too. The fact that he represented the team at Media Day, the fact that he represented the team was it last week when they were on Fox 25. It just says about a lot about the quiet kid from Wilka that was thrown into the fire. 2021 against Northeastern State on the road in a rivalry game against, at that time, one of the better receivers in the conference, and Mark Whelan. And sure, he gave up a touchdown in the first half, but the way he fought in that football game in that second half, I think allowing maybe one or two catches, right there, it showed me a lot about the resiliency of Kobe, and he's just gotten better and better. 2022 was an absolute breakout year for him. I did not know he was that explosive in the return game. Right, last year it was a down year for him, but as we saw from him setting the tone for the whole season, returning that kickoff against Langston. He really turned it on. He's been big. Obviously, the 92-yard punt return against Mo West, the breakup against Mo West. Right, it's just we're not here without Kobe, and it's pretty cool that a guy from small town Oklahoma, in the Class A, is able to be on such a prominent stage. Now, I'm sure that does wonders for the kids back in Woka. I know he takes that personally, and it's really cool to see Kobe's growth as a player and as a man. That's the cool part of the job, is seeing all these guys grow. Because the fact of the matter is, they're only here, barring circumstances, 5 years, 6 years maybe. So to see him come in as a freshman and then like guys like Kobe, right, kind of an unknown, and they're gonna leave, should be first team all conference. I argue probably should be a first team All American return man. That's pretty cool. So to Kobe, I say it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. Doors always open. Don't be a stranger. Next up, we had the man with the fantastic first name, Jonathan J-Mo Mosley. I did not think I would be covering a man that is an emerging social media influencer, but here we are. Here we are. I think it's pretty cool. He's like, him and Noah are the two remaining flag bearers for Carl Albert. They played a lot of ball together, so it's pretty cool. Them to translate the success they had at Carl Albert, which we know is just absolute unit, to this year is pretty cool. And you have to give J-Mo credit, because I'm sure it's been tough for the man this year. You go from being a starter pretty much the majority of 2022 and last year. I felt like he had his best season last year. Honestly, felt like would have probably have been my choice for defensive player of the year. I thought he improved his coverage skills tremendously from 2022. I felt like he was always really good in run support, right? I know he was dinged up some, I think, in fall, right? And then it's just guys like David Williams come in and Braden Waters come in, right? And you got Kobe and you right. There's Dylan back, right? You kind of you hate to say he got lost in the shuffle, but uh, again, it would have broken a lesser man, but Jimmo accepted that fact and credit to him as a teammate. Made the most of his opportunities, right? He could tell he takes pride in special teams. He still was talking noise. Every time an opposing player comes to the sideline, he's talking noise, right? You have to appreciate a guy like that because it would have been easy for him to have transferred, at a certain point, right? But he stayed the course. I'm glad for him. He does great things around campus. He's again very funny, very happy-go-lucky guy. It's you can't say enough good things about him. So I'm glad that he's at least able to go out a champion. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. The door is always open. Don't be a stranger. Speaking of strangers, the next man, I'm not gonna lie to you here. when I saw number 16 out there in the season opener of 2022, I turned to Chris Blake and I said, "Who in the world is this man?" Because he did not sign his signing day. He was on the fall roster, but he was not listed as JK. He was listed as his government name, Jakinnon. And I didn't know about him. Like sometimes you get guys coming during fall camp, right? But do they make the final roster? And I think we very quickly learned who J.K. Moore was, as he saved that game with a pick six in the second half, and has gone on to be a really good corner for us. He's been solid. Sure, he gives us some players as every corner does. Right, but I think we saw, was it UCM, Fort Hays, Northwest, a few of those games, Pitt State, right? They would go at him early, and most of the time the man would indeed respond. He's battled some injuries this season too. I know he had a thumb injury last year, right? He had the game-winning pick against Northwest last year. He's been very big when counted on. He has improved his tackling. I know he was very critical of that when we talked to him in the offseason, right? I did not know he was going to pull Monte Davis on us and and dip a year early, but it is what it is. I'll always be a J.K. Moore fan. I still haven't tried his world famous pasta as he made it. He made it sound, but no, it's truly been an honor. It's been a pleasure. Doors always open. Don't be a stranger. Next we go. I know this man has been much maligned. I've been critical of him lately. I'm sure we all have, and it's not like it wasn't warranted. But Nicky Goudeau, the All-American kicker from Azle, Texas. First you have to give this man a lot of respect, just off rip, for following in his brother's footsteps. And we know Alex Goudeau was one of the better kickers in school history. There's been some inconsistencies there, but when counted upon, he's been big. See Mo West. See Missouri Southern last year, right? He drilled a very tough 40-yard field goal into the win against Kearney. He has hit big kicks numerous times throughout his career, right? I'd rather have a guy maybe miss some gimmies and hit the big ones than the reverse. I think we've all seen other kicking and throughout the games. Again, see last week. And so I think we can all be appreciative that when Nicky is out there in the clutch, he's usually money. I just, it's tough being a kicker, obviously, because right when you do right, like people only notice you if you're hitting game winners or you're not doing your job right. So I do give Nicky credit there for persevering, for keeping confidence. We definitely are not conference champs right now without this man, and so To Nikki, I say, I've been critical, but only because it's my job as a journalist, objective journalist, to point that out. But I just know that without your kicking, the past three years, the program is not where they are now, and so I'm appreciative of it. I'm sure everybody in that locker room is of it too. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. Doors always open. Don't be a stranger. And finally, we had the best long snapper, in my opinion, in the conference, in Peyton Hunt, the Lawton native. I feel like we've been very fortunate, long snappers. Went from what Josh Tabo in my early time covering, then we had Casey Bass that one year, I think in 2021, which was a complete out of left field because he was like a third string quarterback. And then we went to Peyton Hunt the past 3 years, I believe it is. He's just a very good long snapper. He's recovered several fumbles for us. He's made several tackles. I mean, he gets down there and forces some fair catches. He's down the ball deep in opponent's territory, which, contrary to how it looks, is definitely not an easy task to judge that ball. And then he's gotten sunburn as a wide receiver. So all in all, I know long snappers don't get a lot of shine, but you talk to Grayson Miller, he can't say enough about Peyton Hunt. And so, I'm a big Peyton Hunt guy. I think a lot of us are Peyton Hunt guys. So it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. Doors always open. Don't be a stranger. I think in closing, the thing I remember most about this class is the way they came together. Not so much individually, but as a collective, because you're looking at a group. Some came from the previous regime, some came from this regime. Some had down years last year, some had good years last year. But the team, the team did not live up to expectations last year. And this is a group that did everything in their power to create a better locker room, a better vibe, and it showed with their conference championship. And I couldn't be happier for those men because their legacy is now cemented in stone. You can't take MIAA championship away from this team and that group of men. And so I'm truly happy for them. It's been a very tough, emotional past 3 years because a lot of the guys, I've gotten to know them personally, and I just felt for last year's group because they weren't able to go out the way I thought that they should, and so for this group to ensure that they went out the way that they should, I truly appreciate that. They meant a lot to me personally. When I see their names, I have a lot of memories of laughs and tears and hugs and ups and downs. And that's the cool part of the job. That's the tough part of the job because as I'm looking at this list, um, you're seeing all the flash before me, and it remembers how cool of a side gig that I have, and the caliber of men that's in that locker room representing our great university. Um, and so it's been a true honor. Mm, yeah, it's been a true honor. It's been a true pleasure uh, to see a group of men come together, never give up, never quit, and rain, snow, sleet, or shine, whatever happens Saturday, whatever happens a week from now, they can walk off the field champions and walk off the field knowing that knowing that they completed the job that many men that have come before have tried to do, and that's something that they should be proud of. They can walk out that field knowing that they've raised the standard of UCO football, that they've gotten the program to a place where we felt like they should have been, and that hopefully their example, their leadership, can carry over for teams to come. But this class should be very proud of what they've done as a group, individually, what they meant to this program, what they've meant to the fans of this program, the supporters of this program. I can't say no good things about that group. I can't thank that group enough. And it's been a true honor. It's been a true pleasure. I hope I'm able to tell each of you this personally Saturday. Hopefully after a win, after we celebrate an outright conference championship, because it's tough to say that a better group of men don't deserve this, and I'm just overjoyed. But again, I'm happy for all the seniors, no matter if this is year 1 or year 6. You've all left a unique legacy that will never be forgotten, at least by me, and that they were able to do what a lot of teams, a lot of classes failed to do, and that's hoist up a conference championship. So I'm appreciative of them. I hope we all are too. I'm wishing you the best of luck Saturday. Go out there, get that win, get that full MIAA championship.
He out of the gun.
And
Gonna give it to Hawkins again. This time met in the backfield.